I say I don't spend a lot of money, but I do have money regrets. And that would be on my phone, I'll download games. And then sometimes like I'll get invested in this game that like, it's only 99 cents for 5,000 gems. Like that's a steal. I think they specifically were looking at surrogacy and stuff. It was like over $100,000. Oh man. And that's not something you can like get a loan out on either. And then you explain to the bank like, yeah, I just want to borrow $100,000 to potentially have a child.
Unless you told them that the sperm that you got was like from like an athlete, then your investment.
Oh, so you're guaranteeing them sponsorship deals later in life. I wouldn't recommend that either.
I'm Jeena.
And I'm Drew.
And welcome back to Hey There Adulting, where people who can't adult find a diverse, inclusive community to figure life out with.
Yeah.
Oh man, Drew, we're working on Drew's posture because
I'm empty here.
Here's the thing, Drew. I'm like his spine, or at least the bottom half, like where his butt, he curves everything in. So I'm like, you never sit up straight. But you know who else doesn't sit up straight?
Who?
Tiger and Panda. Tiger, I understand because her being a preemie, like she lost a lot of like muscle stuff. Like what do they call it?
Muscle mass?
Not muscle mass. Muscle like it's just harder for her to be able like do. It's easier. Panda is pure laziness.
I told you, Panda's is his gaming posture.
What are you doing?
I just feel like I need something in my hand. It feels too like open.
Can you close that up? You're just leaving it open.
I'm gonna make notes.
No, baby.
Like, yeah.
No.
Like I'm your therapist today.
No, thank goodness you're not.
We're on a couch. Tell me about your feelings.
Drew, put that away.
Why?
Baby.
Okay,
why
fine.
You gotta be
Let
like
me do
this?
one thing. Yeah, how cute is that? Wait, hold on.
You don't get tired?
Sometimes. Look at that.
Who was that supposed to
That's
be?
you. That's you.
No, it's
See the heart? That's my heart. Go in my heart. Because I love you.
But that's not me.
Yes, it is. Oh, little nose. Oh, there. Now it's you.
The nose is what made it. Do you have anything you would like to share with me today?
What would I like to share? I do have something I want to share.
What?
I spent a lot of time trying to find statistics. And when I say that, I spent like 5 minutes searching the web. But I did find a lot of news and like local news and national news sources talking about fast food versus dine-in restaurants.
Okay.
And a lot of people are seeing that fast food prices are the same as dine-in restaurants. Or you can even get food cheaper by going in to dine in than through fast food. So like fast food used to be for convenience. Like you go through real quick and cheap. Like cheap and convenient. You didn't care so much about the quality of food. Like everyone knows McDonald's food is not like the tastiest or the healthiest. But it was so cheap that you couldn't pass up on it. It's kind of like when you get ramen noodles. Like the really, well, they used to be like 25 cents. But
What are they now?
I think they're like $6 or $7 for a 12 pack. No, more than that.
Wow.
I think they're like $1 a pack now.
We don't buy them in often enough that I don't even like recognize. I didn't realize they got that much.
No, yeah, they've gone up a lot. And so there's a lot of news articles back and forth about is fast food getting too expensive. So some of the inflation reports I saw is that the past 2 years, fast food has gone up by 5%, whereas dine-in restaurant has only gone up by 3%, and groceries have only gone up by 1.2%, like so year over year.
So the place to go now is to sit in, dine in.
Yep, and of course you see Applebee's and Chili's as the biggest places, because like Chili's is coming out with like a $10 meal with like the main course, an appetizer, and a drink for $10 at Chili's. And so I know I recently, even Wendy's, which I usually go to because it's the cheapest.
Y'all don't even understand. When they went from the 4 for $4 to the 5 biggie bag,
oh my goodness.
I heard it for
I was
weeks.
devastated.
5 biggie bag,
y'all.
you don't even sound right. It's not even worth it.
You don't. It's not catchy. It's not worth it. It's crazy. In Atlanta, it's $6 now.
No, it's not. Is it really?
Yep. Yeah, it's nuts. And so basically you can get a burger, appetizer, and a drink for like $9.99 from Applebee's.
But you got to tip. Don't forget to tip all waitresses.
You do have to tip, but even if you do a 20% tip, which is $2,
That's still
it's
cheaper.
still cheaper than going through McDonald's, Wendy's. I mean, if you get the $5 biggie bag, like that's the only thing you can get that's
But
like
you can't get it anymore.
cheaper. So I was having a hard time finding statistics, but there is a general overview of like, it's just a big change in where consumers are right now and
You know, our favorite
the
places.
fast food industry and stuff.
Golden Corral, Chili's, Longhorn. And Longhorn, I wouldn't say is like cheap.
Yeah.
It's a little bit on the higher end, but definitely like,
We went to Longhorns for lunch the other day and it was only $12 to $13 a person there.
yeah, but then you ended up getting off of like the lunch menu and I didn't. Typically, I don't.
It's lunch. You have to go for the lunch menu.
You don't have to. You can go in and order what you want. Ain't nobody stopping you.
I know, but if you're comparing prices, if you're doing like, nobody's going through getting a steak dinner at McDonald's. Whereas you can go get steak and salad for the same price that you can a burger and fries.
Yeah.
Something that really keyed in to me is, I think it was McDonald's. You know how they had the dollar menu? Like even I feel like
Oh,
only
they don't
a
have
few
the
years.
dollar menu anymore.
They don't really have the dollar menu anymore, but they're coming out with like a $5 menu. So if you think of that from like a consumer side, a few years ago you had a dollar menu with a ton of products and stuff to pick from. Now you have a $5 menu to pick from.
Which that seems more than like the average increase, right? But no one's going to McDonald's anyway. So
No, but there's McDonald's CEO came out last year or the year before and said, I don't think we'll lose too many consumers or customers by raising prices up. And so they are intentionally raising prices, not due to inflation,
No, well,
just for profit.
I mean, you have to think about it. They're not only raising prices because of like inflation. I think it's also because of the boycott.
What boycott? What do you mean?
Babe, you don't know about the boycott?
Mm-mm.
A lot of people are boycotting McDonald's, Sephora, due to the genocide in Gaza.
Yeah, I've never been good at keeping up with the boycott. Like Kellogg's, I think I came home with a box of Kellogg's when you told me, like, I was like, look how cheap this. It's like, guys, look how cheap this box of cereal is. Like, this is amazing. And you're like, yeah, you know, people are boycotting that, right? I was like, oh, that's why it's on sale. That makes sense.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Like, I think it's very ironic that the CEO of McDonald's is like, oh, we'll raise prices and we won't lose. They ended up having to, they saw losses in profit this year. And so they're having to make a lot of changes, and which is really, again, ironic because they ended up opening a new style restaurant for McDonald's, like Cosmic or whatever. And you haven't heard a peep about it because people have been boycotting McDonald's. And I think it's just...
But even with the boycott, I think the changes they'll make for consumers are cutting the things that you're used to getting instead of cutting prices. So like McDonald's has been playing around with not allowing free refills anymore. Do you know that?
Someone else is doing that too.
And so I don't think these companies are going to cut costs. I think they're just going to cut quality or the things like the extra benefits or perks that you're used to getting.
And then we're just going to Chili's.
Or just eat at home.
Yeah, but you're not like, okay. The person who says eat at home, we switch off who cooks dinner and stuff like that. And it'll be your night. Like, you mind if we go to, I'm like, no. So it's not always, not that it's not always possible. Yes, it's always possible. But I'm saying it's not always convenient.
Right. I'm just saying I feel like there's a lot of people that had a fast food restaurant that they would go to every week at the same time, say day for like regular routine, and they've stopped doing that because of prices.
But then that's what I'm saying. Like, in reality, don't go to McDonald's. Go to places like one that, you know, you'd rather support. Instead of McDonald's, you can go to places like Chili's. You can go to places like Golden Corral. I mean, we just went to lunch. We went to a local Chinese place. And then how much was the buffet, Drew?
It's like $10.
And you were like, oh, that's way cheaper. And it was a buffet. So
It's all
like,
you can eat.
yeah. Would I eat there? I'm not like huge on buffets. Like the kids in you love buffets. And so I'm very picky about the buffets that I go to. So like, that's why when we went to Golden Corral, I was like, I don't hate it. Like, I like Golden Corral of all the buffets, and there are nicer buffets, but in general, I would choose somewhere like Chili's. I would choose somewhere like Chili's. I would choose like Golden Corral. I would choose Longhorn.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, but like McDonald's.
But I don't think we're alone in this. I think a lot of people are experiencing this shift from like fast food is still convenient, and they're making it more convenient with apps and ordering ahead. But pricing, the convenience is not worth it anymore. I'd rather spend an extra 15 minutes going inside to save money.
Yeah, true.
Or get higher quality food.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, we're all trying to save money. Like
Save money, Jeena.
Okay, whatevs. All right. It's so funny that we're talking about saving money because today is all about to spend or to save.
I like it. I like it.
Who do you like? If we gotta just let people know who's who? Who's the spender? Who's the saver?
I'm the saver. You're the spender.
But let them know. Let them know the caveat to that.
But
when I gotta save, I can save.
Oh yeah.
I'm better at it than you.
Effort to save.
Yeah, I need a reason to save. But when I got a reason, don't I do well?
Yeah.
Okay.
You do.
Like, I think I'm a better saver than you.
I think my thing is, I'm not so much a saver as I'm not a spender.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing for me.
Yeah. So then what you're saying that I'm a saver and a spender.
Yeah, I think everybody can do everything, Jeena. You can spend money, you can save money.
I'm just trying to make sure.
Money.
Because it's hard. I think a lot of couples usually, especially if it's like a hetero cis couple, it's usually like people think like, oh, the wife is a spender, right? In the beginning of our marriage, stop nodding your head like that. In the beginning of our marriage, I was the saver. I would not spend because I knew there was like a huge purpose. And like now that we're in this like later new phase of life where we have a little bit extra money to spend, they're like, I spend it because I worked so hard in the beginning to be where we're at right now that I don't mind spending it. And so I think one of the things is that we already talked about who's a spender and who's a saver, but like what would be important things that we would need to save for? Because I think about like, we would save for houses. What are some other things?
So I'm saying, are you talking about just in life in general? Or
life
like
in
right
general,
now?
Yeah. I think about like, we could do it by decades.
I mean, there's always like big things that I feel like the things you save for are the same things that you want or okay spending on. So like college, marriage, transportation.
Okay.
Right? Like I know those are three huge ones, right? Like you save for college, right? Or you're going to get student loans or have to get scholarships, stuff like that. You can save for transportation, so like vehicle to get around.
Yeah, but you don't have to
stuff like that.
Buy the newest.
I didn't say you had to buy the newest. I just said like the things you're saying we should save for, I should stick to that. We should save for when you're able to as well. Down payment on a vehicle, college education, buying a house, or anything. It's getting into a new living situation, even if you're moving into like a new apartment. Like that would be good too. So yeah, I mean, in my head, it still sticks. The big things to save for are like your main things in life as far as like what's going to help you better function throughout your life. I do know people save for vacations as well.
That was what I was
going to say. I think it's
say.
important to save for that so that you're having a budget on your vacation. You're not just blowing through budgets and stuff like that. I think emergency fund is really important to save.
That's probably one of the first things before anything else. Like before you buy a house, before you buy a car, having an emergency fund. Because if you buy a car and then you don't have an emergency fund and something goes like bad, anything goes wrong with it.
Car sitting there.
You have a car sitting there. Yeah.
Insurance. But people don't really save for that.
But that's not a bad thing to save for.
So would you say save? Like, are you saying what are things that you should wait to buy until you saved up money to purchase it? Or are these just things in general that you need to think about for savings?
Both.
Talking about both?
Yeah, because I think both. Yeah.
Because like if I want a new phone, should I save up to buy that new phone or should I just get a payment plan for it?
It depends. Do you have a phone that's currently working?
Yes.
Then save up for it. If you don't, then yeah, go ahead and... Because you need a phone. Like you need a phone to be able to communicate, Don't look at me like that. You need a phone to communicate. You need a phone for work. You need a phone for so many reasons that it is like a necessity. So if you don't currently have a phone, then yeah, go ahead and go get a phone, put it on a payment plan, whatever. If you have a working phone that works just fine and you just want the newest one, or it's just like a little too old, I don't know, whatever reason, but it still works, then I think that you should just save for it.
Yeah. Yeah, use what you have until you can save it enough to upgrade.
Yeah.
Here's a good one I just thought about while you're talking is, should you save for kids? Like if you're planning to have kids, should you save up money before you have kids?
See, okay, yes and no. Okay, I'll explain.
You don't have to elaborate.
I know you were going to say that. Okay, here's the reason why.
Mm-hmm.
So I know of some couples who have wanted to have a kid. They're like, we're saving. And then it seemed like they could never save enough. Mm-hmm. But these were like dinks. And I was just like, how much do they really need to like save? And so I kind of knew like their tax bracket. And so I knew it wouldn't take them longer than a year. And I know you guys were like, how did you know? Like y'all, like they were taking like
the vacations
and stuff like that, the things that they were doing. I just felt like it would be very possible for them to be able to save within a year, maybe a year and a half. And I feel like you can get to a point where you're always focused on the saving that it kind of deters you from actually trying and just going for the next step.
You never have enough money.
Yes. Where it's not that it's like this weird idea or not idea, like this weird idea of like you'll never have enough, or you'll never be like, you can never learn too much about parenting before you can become a parent, because some of it is just you have to do it. And so I wouldn't tell anyone like, oh, if you have no money, go into parenting or become a parent. But I also don't feel like you need to save a huge amount of money, because it's also like if you're trying to, I don't know, it just.
Yeah, and I think that does work for traditional like heterosexual couples, because there's a lot less cost involved with producing the baby just in general. I mean, there's still costs that are incurred from hospital bills to
I thought you were going to use like condoms or stuff like that.
No, that's prevention. That's prevention. But I do know like couples that are going to adopt not a lot of times, but sometimes they're going in $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to adopt a child. Using surrogacy and stuff like that can get up into six figures, and you're having to save even just to hit the threshold for the opportunity to have a child. So I think the answer is a little more mixed now than it was before, a few decades ago, where like the real question is can we budget another family member in our house? Not so much, do we need a budget to get another family member in our house?
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. You're right. That is something that we don't have to think about, but that doesn't mean that not other people or not other couples have to think about. Because I know we are like your brother.
Do you think? I guess my question would be: do you think that that's a valid thing to save for? Like, do you think it's valid to put on like, I want a new home, so I'm going to save for. Oh, I also want kids, so I'm going to save for that.
Yes. Yes, I think that, like, and it's like if it's like your brother and actually, we'll not even put your brother, because that makes it seem like, oh, if it's people that we know, then that like they're deserving of it. If it's any like LGBTQ family member, or not family, LGBTQ person who's wanting to have another child, who's having to go through IVF, surrogacy, or whichever way to be able to bring another family member into their family, that they would have to save. It sucks. I wish it wasn't like that. I wish that it was more like there were more access. They had more access to be able to have children into their family. But right now, like it is the way it is. You're gonna have to either go to IVF, surrogacy, and it is expensive, and it's really it stinks unless you have like a family member who's willing to say, "I'll be your surrogate." But then even that comes with a lot of like.
It's a whole, I feel like, what do they call it?
Can of worms.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Look at that.
I was going to say bag. Like,
but can of worms is better.
Yeah, that's a whole can of worms, mixing the family and like, oh my goodness.
And so Yes. So yes, in the end, I think if you want to save for a family member, like I think those are it's a good enough, not good enough. Like, it's a very valid reason to want to save. But like us, we wouldn't have to think about saving to have a baby, like not in the sense to like even get pregnant with the baby.
Right.
Man, I didn't even think about that, but I only ever think about it whenever I'm talking to your brother, and he's just like, "Oh yeah, look, I really want to have another kid, and we have to go through all this." And then how much did he say? It was like 50 or 60 grand.
No, they were up to like, it depends the route you go about. I think they specifically were looking at surrogacy and stuff. It was like over $100,000.
Oh man,
It was like over $100,000, and that's not something you can like get a loan out on either. Like if you're buying a house for $300,000 or $400,000, you go get a loan and you make payments over 30 years. If you want a surrogacy, I mean, I guess you could go borrow from the bank, but I feel like it'd be a really high interest rate, and like, and then you explain to the bank like, yeah, I just want to borrow $100,000 to potentially have a child. I don't think from the bank's mentality, they're going to see that as a good investment and be ready just to let you borrow $100,000 to give to somebody.
Unless you told them that the egg or sperm that you got was like from like an athlete, then your investment.
Oh, so you're guaranteeing them sponsorship deals later in life. I wouldn't recommend that either. I feel like that could get a little shady for sure.
So how do we navigate like spending money or personal money and like stuff like that? Because like I know every couple does it differently, and so like my parents, they did it like separate. So one parent had their bank account, one parent had their bank account, and then whenever they needed to pay bills, they would figure out who's paying what bill beforehand, and then if there was a big purchase, they would split it down the middle for the most part.
Yeah.
And we do it differently, which I think that there's no right or wrong way. It's I think it should be what's best for that couple and what they've agreed on. And so we have a joint account, and we usually, whenever we have big purchases, like really, really big purchases, we let the other couple know. Yeah. And then we chat about it, see if we can financially do it at that moment, or if we need to save for it, and then we go from there.
Yeah. Yeah, we've even put limits on, like, if it's over a certain amount, it would need to be communicated back and forth.
Yes.
So, like, if the purchase is over $100 or $150, like, it just needs to be communicated between each other of, like, hey, I want to get the kids a small above-ground pool. You know, here you go with that.
Are you saying that? Because I feel like you're saying it for reals. Because I'll say, like, yeah, sure, go ahead. You really want to get them above-ground pool?
No, not this year. Maybe a kiddie pool, but not an above-ground pool.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, and I like the limits mostly because it's not really for permission. It's more of
it's just budgeting. Like if
you're right, budgeting.
Yeah, and I think I've taken the role of being the budgeter in our family. I think like I've taken that role of budgeting in our family, and I'll look at the numbers and see everything that's going on, and then say like, yeah,
we can do it right now.
Yeah, hey, this is where we are.
We could do it in a couple months.
Yep.
It's never a no. I feel like it's always, because I don't think we've ever said no.
Because it's just saving up for it. Like that's the thing, is if it's not in the budget, then it's just a discussion of like, hey, I see you really want that new iPhone or a new laptop or furniture for the bedroom and stuff like that. Or man, the van is getting really old. It'd be nice to get like
the van's not old.
A little updated van.
I'm so glad it's not getting old.
It is.
No, it's
It'll
not.
be 10 years old in
I
like
don't care.
2 years.
It's still good. Seriously.
I didn't say being old doesn't mean it isn't good. I'm
Drew,
getting old.
Okay, so when we got
fine.
married, Drew's like, "Oh, we need to get a new car." And I'm like, "No, we can get a used. Like, we can even go if you want to be fancy. Let's go get certified used car." I don't think like spending money on a new car is worth it for me.
Yeah,
ever.
That's you. Other people may.
Okay, not
Other
you.
people may really like that.
Not you either.
Oh, I don't mind.
Okay, good. Okay, for other people, fine, but not me and you, because I just.
Well, you can't speak for me.
Yes, I can.
You have to let me speak for me.
Okay, what do you want?
I want a Maserati.
Used. Nice. A certified used Maserati. Certified used Maserati.
Okay, I'll get one. Done. You guys heard it here. Wait till I pull around in my used, certified used Maserati.
The issue, I think, is just like the idea of as soon as you drive off the lot, you lose value. And then, I don't know.
I think for me, the biggest thing is just warranty and reliability of the vehicle.
Yeah, and we bought a lot of cars through CarMax. Absolutely love CarMax. They can't, like, our friends actually, you guys know Courtney and Blake, her and her spouse, the both of them bought through Carvana. And it was a horrible experience. And I'm not going to speak for them, but I know it was a horrible experience. And like, we were chit-chatting a bunch, and I was like, why didn't you like buy through CarMax? Did they buy through CarMax the second time around? I think so.
I think they did. I think they went there.
We told them exactly, because we said like, look, their warranty is so nice, and you get to pick which warranty you want because you are paying extra. Because I think we go for the 5-year warranty, and every single time we bought a car through Carvana. Every single time we bought a car through CarMax, we've been very, very happy with the warranty. We've been happy with the car. Our cars have lasted a really long time. Actually, the car that we had before...
Oh, is my Subaru driving okay? I forgot to ask you.
Yeah, it is a lot better. It's not doing like the jumping thing. But
at all, right?
I have to drive it a
Because
little
even
bit.
if it's doing that a little bit, I need to take it back in. Because they said it should be completely fixed.
Okay, I don't know. You have to drive it yourself.
Well, you drive the work truck home.
Oh, I don't want to buy
drive
a truck. I don't like driving trucks. This stresses me out. And I don't know. Like, I can drive your Subaru, like little, and I love minivans and a small car. But for some reason, I'll never get used to driving a big car.
I think about the time I hit 50, I'm going to want a little sports car.
I mean, really? Why?
Yeah.
Don't be them people.
Just to get one and drive it. I may like turn it back in like a week or two and be like, yeah, that's not for me. But I at least.
But with CarMax, you can do that.
Life,
CarMax, if you don't like the car in 7 days, you can return it right back.
All their like little sports cars are sold fast. When I went and looked for my Subaru, you don't remember me texting you being like, "Ooh, look at this!" Like
it was gone.
CRT or something like that,
and it was gone.
Oh yeah, they were all gone.
We'll see. Cars is just one of the things that. Yeah, I'm fine with saving for.
I think you see cars as a tool. That's why. Like, cars are something like to get you somewhere, and that's it. Not something to show off.
Oh, yeah.
Or like be fancy with or anything. You're very
There's not
practical.
a lot of things that I feel like you should buy to be fancy for. Like, other than a home, but like a beautiful home.
Even homes, you look at functionality. Like, we have a big family, so we do have a bigger home. But like when you've looked at homes, it's been more functionality. How many bedrooms? How many bathrooms?
I don't want the ugliest home,
can we have a guest be in there? No, but like...
I'm not going to go for the fancy...
Do you remember in Texas, what was it? It's the lakes. Help me out. South Lake.
Okay.
Where the mega church is and all that. You don't remember those homes over there? Where like they had the pool that like came into the kitchen.
Those homes were ridiculously expensive for the home that they had.
But that's what you're not into that kind of fancy stuff.
No, I'm not. Yeah. As long as the house is like nice and clean and like it doesn't need to be like super fancy. Even right now, I think we're thinking about potentially building a home. We've been looking at stuff. They're like, oh, you're gonna want like super high end stuff, or I'm like mid. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, mid, I don't want like the most expensive thing. I want it to look nice, but it doesn't need to be like extravagant for me to feel like, oh man, like I've got my money's worth. It doesn't need to be like that. Yeah. Even with clothes, I don't think you need to spend a lot of money for it to look nice. Right. And so I don't need to buy like huge name brand stuff for me to feel like I've made it in life. That as long as it looks nice and it's in style, that even if it's from Old Navy, I'm so cool with that. I love Old Navy. I will never, no one could ever make me hate you, Old Navy. I think this whole outfit is Old Navy right here. Shirt Old Navy, vest Old Navy. How much
did it cost you? How much that outfit cost you?
This whole outfit? Yeah. I would say this is like I'll say like $25. Like for the vest, their shirt was like $10. The jeans, those are a little bit more expensive, which I need to get new jeans because like I want down a size. These are like...
That's good.
Oh, right.
That's one of your goals.
Yeah.
You got to celebrate yourself. That's good.
The jeans were like $30 or $40. So this whole outfit, I would say, is under $100.
Shoes
and the
included?
shoes, yep. The shoes, I don't remember how much the shoes were. A little bit more expensive, but that's because you don't have to worry about like so much size, and they were like $20-$30.
Yeah.
So maybe 120 for the whole outfit, which I'm totally fine with. I feel very happy with the look. I feel like it's like, I don't know if it's like the most trendiest, but I do feel like it's very put together. I'm happy with it. I don't think, and it's hard because I know a lot of people love to keep up with the Joneses, and not that I feel like there's something, I don't know.
I think you can keep up with the Jones, or I think you can have high-end things. I just know there is a right like time and place to buy those things. And I do know like saving comes into being patient with it and being pretty impactful. And so I think us being in our 30s, like you're saying, we've moved into this different stage of life. It is way different now than it was 12 years, 13 years ago when we were first married and just like struggling to get by. And we really were saving for more basic thing, like moving from a trailer into an apartment. You know, now it's more of like, we've secured our home. We're happy with where we're living. We don't have any new babies right now. And so like that gets a little bit easier as we're not going as many doctor's visits and those kind of things. Vehicles, we've secured vehicles. We both have jobs. And so a lot more things are just more stable where we're not in this period of like, oh, we've got to save to get this stuff done, or we have to be patient. Right now, we're more in a period of like, I kind of was joking, but not really. It'd be cool because it was a private jet. We got a flyer in the mail the other day.
For what?
For Disney. You could visit every Disney park in the world. It was a 24-day, 23-night excursion, and it was on a private jet. And they fly you on a private jet to all of them. And so me and the kids calculated how much it was. So for our family of 7 to go, it was only $805,000. That's it. So I told the kids I'll save up for the next 20 years. And hopefully prices don't change. Disney, keep the prices the same for the next 20 years.
It's not happening.
And then we'll take the whole family. So Panda would be my age. When we get to
the
go.
twins would be a year younger.
Yeah.
See, and this is why I would say, because I love Disney. Y'all know we've been on a lot of Disney trips. I love Disney cruises because I genuinely think that they're cheaper in the long run, because it is really expensive when you look at it, especially if you compare them to other cruise lines. But if you're really wanting to have that Disney experience, I think that you know exactly how much it's going to be if you go on a Disney cruise.
Yeah.
You don't know how much it's going to be if you go to the Disney parks, because the food's not included in the Disney parks, the restaurants sitting down, all the souvenirs, that you can budget a lot easier for Disney cruises than for Disney parks. And that's why we've been on, 3 now? 4?
Yeah.
4, and we've been super happy because you'll be like, oh, it's gonna cost us X, Y, and Z. Like we usually wait for a sale, and then we're like, okay, it's gonna cost us like $9 or $10 for our whole family, and then we know it's $9 or $10. We've gotten to the point now when we go on cruises, we don't go off the ship as much anymore because we don't see like
Well, it just depends the length of time. For
the length of time, but also where we're going. Like we've been to Mexico a bunch, we've been to Honduras, we've been to a bunch, we've been to a lot of the Virgin Islands a bunch, that we don't feel like they need to go off the ship as much, and we just enjoy the ship, and we enjoy it with a lot of less people. I'm telling you right now, I would not say yes to that, visiting all the. I would figure out a way cheaper way.
If you had $1 million, you wouldn't do it. Like if you just had $1 million laying around, like just to spend on a vacation. No, I would just get a private jet.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like you can rent a private jet for cheaper than that.
Probably, but then you'd have to like manage all that. I would like the money just to be like, here, take care of it for me, and zoop, zoop, zoop. There I go.
No. Yeah. And you're the person, we're the people who don't schedule. We're very just laid back with a lot of things. You don't like whenever we go on trips, you don't like things to be scheduled like that.
I don't like to schedule them out, but if someone scheduled them for me, I'll go with it.
Whatever. Okay, so we're talking about spending and saving or spending. We have a big family. Like, how do we do it? Because I think the very first thing that I know that we do is that we like. You guys can see it on our TikTok. We recently talked about how Drew had to go to Publix for a tea party. And you're like, man, I realized why we don't go to Publix as much.
Expensive.
It's so expensive. So Aldi's is our place to go.
Yeah.
I will never, like, you know how I love Old Navy? Aldi's, they can never make me hate you. I love Aldi's. I love the Isle of Shame. I don't even know if they like that name, but that's what it's called. I love how much the food is there. I love their name brand, like their Aldi's
It
stuff.
definitely has helped us cut our grocery bills like in half.
A
like,
lot.
Maybe a third if you're going to Publix compared to Aldi's. Like,
The only way I could see maybe being cheaper is if like Sam's or like Costco.
which actually I'm kind of determined this year to be the year that I start going to Costco and like bulk buying and meal prepping a little bit more, because we have friends that are a family of 6, and you know who I'm talking about. They're a family of 6, and I just compared their grocery bill to our grocery bill, and their grocery bill is half of ours. Yeah, because they just don't do a lot of fast food. They don't do a lot of dine-in restaurants. They go to Sam's though. Most of their stuff they get from Sam's in bulk, and then that's how they run their life.
Okay.
And so their grocery bill was like half of ours, and I was like, oh.
It's even cheaper than Aldi's?
Well, because we don't just do Aldi's, we do Kroger. Sometimes we do Publix. We do eat out when I'm supposed to be cooking, and I go get Taco Bell instead.
I won't blame Drew. Sometimes we eat out when it's my turn to cook too.
So.
I mean, we could make a bet with each other. First person to lose. I don't know, because I would love to save even more. Because it's like it's getting so ridiculous. Where it's just like, what was one thing? It was like, how much were we spending? $2,000, $3,000
For what?
Groceries.
$3,000. Last month we spent $3,000 on groceries.
And
I do know one of our downfalls is that we homeschool the kids, and so they eat all day.
Penguin, oh my goodness,
they just eat all day.
Snacks.
You know, we did leftover night one night, and Penguin wanted a piece of everything that was left over. So he had strawberries, he had mashed potatoes, he had mac and cheese, he had lasagna, he had shrimp, and then he had a hot dog, and he had like 5 or 6 bowls, and he was just like one bite, one bite, one bite. Okay, I'm done. Can I have juice? And I was like, dude, like, what are you living like a king over here? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I like this stage of Penguin because remember a couple months ago we're like, how does he even grow, or how's he gonna live? And now he's just like eating all the time.
Yeah.
He's more particular. Like he's like, I want mac and cheese, but he'll be eating like a whole bowl, like an adult sized bowl of mac and cheese.
Yep.
And like I could throw some like veggies in it and like blend it up, and he wouldn't care. He'd still eat it. So yeah, I do know, like we're trying to cut it down to $1,500 this month, right?
Yeah.
We can do it.
It's hard. A family of 7. That's
We can do it.
What is that divided by 4? Is that like 400? Yeah, you said 16, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like $400 a week in groceries.
We can do it. Okay. I know for
You
sure.
know what we'd have to do is have the kids stop eating dinner for lunch.
What?
Because we do like spaghetti for lunch, and
That's not the issue, baby.
yes, it is.
No, it's
We
not.
need peanut butter, Nutella.
No.
Peanut butter and jelly.
No.
Ham and cheese sandwiches.
No.
I need to get more basic
I like the
for
fact that
lunch.
our kids eat well, like, and it's tell me how much spaghetti and meat sauce costs, like the
A
meal.
lot.
No, it doesn't.
A lot.
It doesn't.
Way more than Nutella and peanut butter. Yeah.
What are some other ways that we could save as a big family? I'm ignoring him because it's not spaghetti. Like the meal, that's one of the reasons why a lot of families will eat spaghetti is because it's a cheap meal. So the fact that they're eating it for lunch is not the problem, babe. The problem is either we're not like being as
There's
conscious.
too many snacks. Too many oatmeal cream pies.
I could buy less of them, but like the kids like it a lot, and I could just buy it in bulk.
It's a balance.
Yeah.
It really is a balance. We did start a garden this year, a small one. So we've eaten like 3
That
tomatoes.
garden ain't doing nothing for us.
3 tomatoes out of our garden.
The kids are super excited. They've been trying to ripen their tomatoes on the windowsill, but that garden ain't gonna do nothing for us. It's not gonna cut down our the one
50
strawberry that we got that the squirrels haven't been eating. That was extremely sweet, I will say, and it was
You
red.
ate one? You got to eat one?
Yeah, you didn't.
No, I still haven't gotten to eat a strawberry.
They don't like you.
The squirrels keep eating them.
The kids got one. They found one for me, and so they're like, it was red.
Was it the one badger tucked into the middle?
I don't know.
She took one day and took a strawberry and tucked it in the middle so the squirrels wouldn't get it.
Oh, I don't know. I just got one. I got a piece.
I'm jealous now. So food, I think, is a big one. Activities are huge for families.
Entertainment. Yeah.
Streaming services have gotten ridiculous.
Well,
they said, oh, here's a good report. To watch all of your NFL games, like if you were a true hardcore NFL, you'd have to spend $1,200 for the year to watch all the games on TV. This isn't in person. It's on TV because you need like 4 different subscriptions. You need like Apple, Peacock, Netflix, and like Amazon or Hulu.
And this is for pro
and
or
ESPN.
College?
Pro. NFL Pro.
But you don't even like pro.
This isn't for me. This is for the people.
Okay. What if it was college? Because that's when I could actually...
College? I'd have to look up, but I'm sure it's just as expensive.
That is one thing that we've tried to cut out a bunch is like all the streaming services. And it's hard.
It is.
It's hard.
Every streaming service has one show that you love that you can't imagine living without, or they're coming with a new season. Like Netflix is coming out with Stranger Things this year.
Oh, we're not watching Stranger Things.
I am. I'm going to watch it. Why won't you watch it?
They're boycotting it.
Stranger Things is part of the boycott?
Yeah. Because I can't remember his name.
You're supposed to tell me after I watch it, Jeena.
No.
Come on.
I can't remember. It's his name's Noah, right? Noah what?
Not Noah.
Yeah.
Noah?
He's a huge Zionist. And he was really
I think he's evil anyway in the show too.
He's very, very extremely insensitive. Very, very problematic, and I understand why people are I'm not watching it.
Wow, I didn't know that.
But it's just kind of sad, but not sad. It's already been off.
So we can cancel Netflix?
Yeah, after Bridgerton. No one's boycotting Bridgerton.
I'm gonna find a reason to boycott Bridgerton. I thought it was Bridgerton.
What?
Yeah, like a hard G, like Bridgerton.
Bridgerton. Okay, you don't call me. What did you say?
Bridgerton.
You don't call me
You don't have a G in your name, silly. Bridgerton doesn't have a J.
Yeah, you're right.
You're just coming up with excuses.
No, fine. You can cut it off next month at the end of June. Do it if you want to cut it off so bad.
After you get your show?
Yeah, and then it's good.
Then another show will come up that's like, I want to see that.
No,
that's the problem.
You can cut it off in July.
No, because then I'll probably have a show I want to watch.
Okay, well then you can't.
So yeah, groceries are really hard. Entertainment can be really hard. Sports, summer camps, activities just as you get a bigger family, you're multiplying whatever you would do with one child, just with multiple children.
How much was summer camp? Just at like the kids' co-op.
It was. Each of the kids were $300 to $500 for a summer camp. We signed them up in 2 different summer camps. So the girls have like horse riding, Panda has video game design, and then they all have like a kind of a nature summer camp. And so I think between all of those, we spent $2,000 for this summer. And so
it's expensive.
It's money we've been spending for like co-op classes already throughout the year. And so we just saved up so that we could spend this in the summer.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we could...
Housing has become outrageous.
Oh.
I don't know if there's an aspect of life we can talk about right now that hasn't become outrageous, like expense wise. Like, is there any areas that like we could talk about or feel comfortable that like we still feel good about with expenses, like saving for or spending? College tuitions have gotten
I feel like the only thing that is not more expensive than it was before is just baby making or practicing for a baby. Really? I mean, think about it. Everything has just become more.
Well, I don't know. Do you have to pay for apps now to find people to baby make with? Like, is that where we're headed?
Well, we're married, so we don't have to worry about that. So, no.
Date nights are expensive now, though.
Yeah, that's
Finding
true.
babysitters. I remember when we first got married, it was like $7 an hour, $6 an hour, $5 an hour for a babysitter. Now it's like 12, 13, 15. So it really is all aspects of life get more expensive. Hopefully you're getting paid more to outweigh that, but
And a lot of
It's just
people
hard.
aren't. So you're saying hopefully, but we already know a lot of people aren't, because you were the one that brought it up a couple of episodes ago, and how the average cost for a family of four. No, whatever. Let's just roll it. So I don't have to hear his voice. Roll it. What he
So-
said.
The income that a family of four needs to have to live comfortably in the United States. And it breaks it down by state. So do you want to take a guess? We're in Georgia. Do you want to take a guess if we were a family of four, which we're almost double this, if we were a family of four, how much would we need in the state of Georgia to live comfortably?
190.
Higher. $212,826.
For a family of four?
A family of four. So based off what I had said.
No, you don't have to explain it.
We're a family almost of 8. We have 7 right now, right?
What do you mean almost of 8?
Almost. Like we're at 7. All we need is one more kid to be at 8.
Okay, well, but we're not almost at
I'm
8.
using dad math here. So we're almost at 8. So we might as well double the amount that we need to make every year.
What are you talking? We don't have another kid right now.
I'm getting closer to this Disney trip. So if we have to make $300,000 a year to survive, and we just double that and just simply make $600,000 a year to survive, then all we have to do is not spend money on anything for 2 years, and we'll have enough to go fly around in a private jet. Right? By the numbers.
Okay, by the numbers, I don't know who's making that much money, because we definitely don't live off of that. It's like 300. We're
No, we don't.
way less than that.
No, we don't, but I'm just talking to talk.
You talking just annoying me. That's what it is. You talking just so annoying me.
I don't know how a family of 7 could live off of under $75,000.
Yes.
Especially if you
agree.
talk about like comfortably or anything like that. Like I just don't,
But
See
families
it
are
with the
doing it though.
expenses.
They're doing it.
because they have to.
They
like
have
credit
to.
card debt maybe.
No. Because if you're thinking about it, there was a time that if we needed to, we could live off of like 80,000 as a family of like 5
I
or
mean,
6.
we're not far from that now, but that's because we do good at paying off our debts. Like we're conscious about credit cards and debt, and we try to pay those things off.
Yeah. I just don't. I don't want to seem like, oh, I can't believe how they're doing it, because at one point we were doing it.
I know. I think I have a hard time because I hear a lot of the Dave Ramsey stuff and all that, right?
That's the problem right there, Dave Ramsey.
He's
I mean,
not
let's
the
be honest.
problem. It just shows
Yes,
you how
he
much.
is.
It just shows you how much has changed. Like he's going back 30, 40 years. We only have to go back 12 years to know when we first got married, our rent was $350 a month.
Okay, but
When we moved
can we
into
tell
an
them
apartment,
okay,
it
what
was
were we living in when it was
$380.
$300 a month?
So 300 or 350 with the grass mode and all that was a single wide trailer
Okay,
in Alabama.
all right,
We moved into an apartment and it was only $380.
and that was like Section 8.
No, it wasn't. It was
it not?
Mm-mm. It wasn't Section 8. It was the rent was adjusted per your income, so it was income based rent. It wasn't
Okay.
Section 8. I
Okay.
mean that it would have been fine to be Section 8. It just wasn't classified as that.
Okay,
And so it was just income based rentals.
okay,
And so but then even when we moved to Georgia, we bought a house for $160,000
yeah, and that house
and
is
our rent was only
mortgage.
mortgage. Yeah, sorry. Mortgage was like $1,200 a month plus $200 insurance. So it's still only, and that was a
A large house.
3,000 square foot house.
It was a 3,000 square foot home. We had an apartment in the basement that we
Mother-in-law
renovated.
suite. Yeah.
That we renovated ourselves, and then we rented that out, and we had almost an acre of land, and that was, I loved. Like I say, I love that house. There was a lot of things that I didn't like. I didn't like how small the kitchen was.
But thinking of the price wise, like it was big
great.
enough for our family. It was only like, let's say $1,400 a month after taxes and stuff. Now for that same house, it's at $500,000. That same house is $500,000. And if you did interest rates today, you'd be paying $3,500 a month. So it's 3 times. So that's where, like, in my mind, it's really hard for me to conceptualize any advice to give to anybody because it's so different from them when I was in that position or when I was there. I just don't see how you do it without relying on like parents or cohabitating with like brothers and sisters or something, you know what I mean? Like, or already having money. If your parents already have money or you're already established, I know that does give you privilege and a leg up on getting out and about and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. And I guess the thing is we're saying like, we don't know how anyone else knew. A new family can do it.
Yeah.
In reality, though, there are always going to be families that start off like how we did. And I'm sure people were looking like, how could a new family, when we only had 2 kids and we were just, and we only lived off of 1 income, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure people looked at us, how are they doing it? How are they doing it?
That's true.
And so I think there will always be that mindset of people who are like, where we're at right now, where we're like, we're comfortable. We're not bougie and we're not buying whatever, but we still can like make it by and we whatever. And we're probably looking at new families are like, how are they doing? Like, there's no way. And that's why I really don't like Dave Ramsey, because he likes to use his old ways of doing things and tell people that's how I did it. And that's how I'm able to do, like, make so much money now. That's how you have to do it now. When in reality, you can't use his playbook to help us now, because it's a whole different game.
Yeah.
He was playing football. We're now playing soccer. And so we can't use his playbook. And that's why I think Dave Ramsey...
He's playing football?
Dave Ramsey, no one will want to listen. People will listen to him just to make fun of him, I think. But not in a way
I think he has a hardcore following.
He's a hardcore following, but like... There's some things that he says, or certain ways that he says you have to do things that I just think are ridiculous. Like going without when you have a family, like going up without stuff. And I'm just like, I'm not letting, like, my kids should not go without it. So let me either figure out a way for it to work, or maybe we're not going to pay off debt as quickly as possible. We'll still pay it off. We're not going to pay it as fast. And he's like, well, that's ridiculous. No, that's life. Like, children shouldn't be going out without things because you think it should be a certain way. I think he's also the person where he's like, oh, don't save for your kids, let them do that. And I'm like, no. That is a very, like, because in reality, I'm sure he saved for his kids.
I don't think that's just Dave Ramsey. I think that can be very controversial for anybody. I think it's a bigger debate of what do you do for your kids and what don't you do for your kids.
Everything.
And how you set your kids and stuff.
I don't care what other people do. I don't care what them other white people do. I'm serious.
I know. Actually, you don't care.
No, I know. Well, especially it's usually people who, it's like white Americans who have had so much generational wealth. They're always the ones like, you don't save for your kids. But then they're doing it for their own kids, passing on generational wealth. And then when other people are like, we want to do it too. No, don't do it. Heck no. I'm going to save for my kids. All 5 of them are getting lots of money. We're working really hard and working ourselves to the bone so that they can have what we didn't have.
That's fine.
Okay,
as long
good.
as they give me some. Let me borrow some money when I want.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I need Hershey bars is $15 a candy bar now. I need to borrow some money. I'm thinking my old man era.
If they fund your sugar problem.
Yeah.
You know who I could see doing that? It would be a Penguin.
Oh yeah.
He would definitely help you like your candy.
I'd appreciate that, Penguin. Thank you.
He'll look back like, oh yeah, Dad, I will. Do we have any money regrets? Like things that we spent money on that we shouldn't have?
I don't know, because I say I don't spend a lot of money, but I do have money regrets. And that would be on my phone, I'll download games. And then sometimes like I'll get invested in this game that like honestly like is not benefiting me in any way, but I want to be at like the top position in the game. So I'll be like, it's only 99 cents for 5,000 gems. Like that's a steal. And then I'll like, all you have to do on your phone is like double click for face recognition. Boom. I got my 5,000 gems. I get to the top of the list. And then the next week they just come out with a new list. And it's like, man, I got to do that again. And so when I'm about $5 in, I'm like, okay, like I'm regretting this. And so I'll delete the app or game.
After you spent $5. You know what I regret? Like money that we've spent on. Do you know what I'm going to say?
What?
The wedding.
But it wasn't our money.
It still makes me regret it. I, to this day,
wish... regret, like, it wasn't our money to spend. Like, what's something you personally have purchased?
Drew, we've talked about this a bunch, and it is, I wish that we would have eloped. I wish that my parents would have given us the money, and we could have put it for a home, a down payment for a home, put it towards school, purchasing a car, because we had like rinky-dink cars. We had two really old rinky-dink cars that, I still regret
Build character for us.
It built character for us in which ways? Because I would have been fine if we eloped and had a small little like dinner, and I would have been very happy with that. Because I was not a person that was really big on weddings. Like I don't think I ever really sat there. I was never the girl that sat there and I was like, I thought about my colors, yellow and gray.
Yeah.
And that's it. I don't think I ever thought about like what type of wedding dress, how many bridesmaids. I don't even think I had like a bachelorette party. Like I was not a huge like wedding person, and so I felt like it was a lot. They spent, was it 20-30 grand on our wedding, and I would have been happy if they just, here you go.
Yeah, no, I mean, we both agreed with that, and being in the position we were too, it would have been a lot more comfortable and convenient to have a nicer home to start in, nicer vehicles to start with, and stuff like that. I do think just in general, people are going to make it through though. Like life goes on. Like no matter how hard times get, no matter what happens, like people will continue to move forward and make things work and make the best out of their situations. And so I agree with you there about like if any of our kids come to us and like, I don't want a big wedding, I just want a really small wedding.
I hope they do.
I'm going to be like, yeah, that's completely fine. Or if they say I want a ginormous wedding, I am going to be the one to say, well, you're going to have to save for some of this. Like, we're going to have to work. And
do you want to tell our listeners what we said that we would do? Like the choice that we would give our kids, each of them?
I don't know if this was wedding. I thought this was more of.
No.
Oh, I guess this is for anything. I think we talked about having a specific amount of money that they could use towards like starting a small business, college, or starter home.
You forgot. You already, no. I think you know what. I think you were gonna say it, and then you're like, no, maybe she's not talking about this. Remember how we talked about how if they wanted to have a wedding, if they decided they would want a smaller wedding, that we would like pay for the smaller wedding, pay for a really nice dinner, right? Which would still be way cheaper than a wedding, like a huge wedding, and then we would give them the rest of the money that would have gone towards it. So it's like instead of, and like if they decided they wanted to elope. Like a really, like, remember we talked about this.
Yeah.
So that way we'd give them the money.
I just don't think we ever talked about a specific amount of money.
I don't think we talked about a
certain
certain
amount. We probably need to set that because it needs to be like $500, $1,000, $1,500. Longhorn has some amazing lunch specials. We're swinging over to Longhorn, grabbing a steak and salad. And then we'll send them up to old Pigeon Forge for the honeymoon.
That's where we went for our honeymoon. I love that. Was a really nice. We didn't spend a lot on that, and I loved it. And
then the additional $500 can put in their pocket.
Okay, so I would probably, if you want to talk about numbers right now, I would end up like, I think a very nice wedding, 5 to 10 grand.
I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about weddings. For me, numbers, honestly, because this is a luxury to be able to do this for our kids, to me, it would be dependent when that time comes, what the money would be and stuff.
Oh, so like how much it costs for our average wedding?
Yeah.
I would say the average, because we're not too far off from when the kids might be getting married. We're they're 15 years away from now. So I guess it could change. Yeah, it's a long time. But I would still say it would probably at minimum 20 to 30 grand for a wedding.
Yeah. And see, in my head, like I'm not giving my kids potentially $15,000 to $20,000.
One of the girls, just wait. You guys are seeing this.
Just do the wedding.
One of the girls was like, I want a big wedding.
We may not be in a financial situation to do that.
That's different.
This is the thing. I don't want to promise anything in the future because things change all the time. And so like, here's a great example of myself growing up and why I'm hesitant to like really commit to this and dig in with this. Okay. Mm-hmm. I have 2 older brothers. Mm-hmm. And when my oldest brother turned 16, my grandparents were like, you need a car. And so they went out, and it was like this whole life experience. My oldest brother went out with my grandpa, and they haggled for a car.
Okay.
Like they haggled, they walked away from the car. They got a used car.
Okay, still.
Haggled for all that stuff. So,
this is why I love
but
the
they
grandpa.
used my grandparents' money, right? My brother didn't spend a penny. He got a car. Amazing. The next year, my next oldest brother, right? He got a car from my parents, my dad and stepmom, right? And so they bought him a nice little like Chevy S10 red truck.
He passed away by this time.
I
think that's why they didn't buy it.
Potentially.
I think so.
I don't think he was passed.
Okay.
I don't think he was passed at this time. No, it just was like, it's because my brother had moved in with my dad. And so some of the financial responsibilities had shifted and some of the relationships had shifted.
Okay.
And so my dad and stepmom were like, yeah, you need a vehicle. They went out and bought him one. I turned 16 and financial situations had changed for everybody. And
that's what you get for being the baby.
That's what I get for being the baby. And I had to save up my own money to go buy my own car. And my dad was like, oh, I know a guy that's selling a car. You could go talk to him. So my dad pointed me the way, but I had to spend my own money. And then I started telling everyone, my two older brothers, because I started stirring up drama, my two older brothers got their cars paid for, but I had to pay for my own. And so I started guilting my parents, and they felt so guilty that they ended up, I got a new paint job on my car for my mom, because she felt guilty. And then I got $500 from my dad. And so I went and bought subwoofers for my Buick Century. And I put big 15-inch subwoofers in the trunk of my car. And so anyway, I ended up, I guess, pretty good off, but I had to fight for it. And so I don't want to promise our kids like $10,000 when you get married, because our financial situations could change. And if that's the case, I don't want to give our oldest two kids this grand thing and never give the rest of the kids anything, or not give the first two kids anything and give the rest of the kids stuff. Like,
but isn't that something that like that happens in life? Like, if you think about it, technically, Penguin has had it the best out of all the other kids. That's just part of just like being born when you're born in the family. I'm like, not to say that I wish we didn't give Panda the very best and had like because
well, Miss Rachel wasn't here 12 years ago, so how could we give him the best?
Miss Rachel, how could you? We needed you 12 years ago. Where were you? No, I mean, but that's what I'm trying to say. It's like, I get what you're saying, and I feel like your feelings on that is very, very valid. But I also think like it's the same way of like Panda had a lot less than Penguin at his age. With Penguin has like more access to more books, more everything than Panda did. And I think, not to say like I don't want to make sure when they're older and say like, yeah, I'd love to give each of you like 15-20 grand instead of having a wedding. Are you joining? We'll spend $5,000 on the wedding. Well, you get a really not expensive dress, because I think I spent on my wedding dress $600 or $800 somewhere in between there. So it costs as much as it did for my prom dress, really. Yeah. And then like they can we go to a nice dinner that costs a couple $1,000s. We go to the courthouse, or we get married in like a church for another grand or something like that. I don't know what they will choose. And then that's it. And I think that like I get what you're saying. I understand why you feel that way, and it's completely valid. I still think that I would like to put something that'll strive for something for me, to make sure that, because I feel like the situation was different.
I guess my thing is I just want to make sure it's reasonable. I don't want you to get in mind that we're going to give each of the kids $30,000 if they're choosing, or that we have a $30,000 budget for each of their weddings. If like maybe,
well, you should have thought of that before we had so many girls. Because it wasn't me who chose the sex or the gender, it was you.
I know, we need another boy in the house. We need to even this out a little bit.
Oh my goodness. Alrighty, well, let's play a game.
Okay.
should we spend or save?
Okay, let's go.
And so,
Can I use the whiteboard?
yes, you can use a
Yay.
whiteboard.
So I'm going to give you guys two options. I'll either ask Jeena or Drew.
Okay.
And let's say I ask Jeena, I'll give her two options of what she thinks Drew would do in a situation. So I'll just do one, for instance, for now, just to practice. And then when I give the two options, Gina's going to write down what she thinks Drew's going to do. Drew, you're going to write down what you would do.
Okay.
And then you guys compare your answers.
Okay, sounds good.
Drew,
Yes.
would Jeena rather have another baby or go on a family trip?
This is a hard one. Oh, man. Okay, I'm ready.
Ready?
Yep,
1, 2, 3.
baby.
Family trip. I would rather go on another family trip. You really drew a baby?
Yeah, I tried. It wasn't very good.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, Jeena, would Drew rather spend money on a used car or save up for a new car?
Oh, this is a hard one even for me. What if I don't know? Okay.
Okay, ready?
Yep.
You really would spend after I just gave you that whole car, a new car, Drew?
A new car. Yeah, if I'm gonna save up and like dedicate, I already got a car. If I'm gonna save up for another car, it's gonna be a new car.
Okay.
Tesla's supposed to come out with an $8,000 truck. I
Okay,
would
so
save up
is
for
it just
that.
the novelty of a new car? Is that
Yeah.
what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's like a bucket list item.
Is it really a bucket list item for you to get a new
Yeah,
car?
I have like a new like sports car, like a brand new car. It's like a sports car.
Seriously.
Like
I feel
something
like
you would
I'm
never
learning
want me. Something like you would never want me to get.
That's horrible.
Okay, Drew, would Jeena rather have a date night and pay for a babysitter or a family night out with no dates ever?
Oh, that one's easy.
Okay.
Hold on. I gotta erase one of these. Didn't go good. Okay.
3, 2, 1.
Date night.
Look at it. Date night. We even drew the
Little
heart
hearts.
to anything.
Okay, Jeena, would you rather spend money for cleaners or clean on your own?
This is a constant fight in our house. That's funny. I realize my stick people just are not happening today.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
1, 2, 3.
Clean myself.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clean ourselves. Your stick person.
It's me. Yeah, see, Drew. It's me with the broom.
I see,
Clean.
but you don't use a broom often. I'll tell you that. I'm always struggling like, Drew, let's clean.
Drew, would Jeena save money for retirement or save money for kids' college funds?
Oh, I already know this one. School, like college funds.
You even put
Yeah.
UG on it. Perfect.
Yeah, you're crying and everything.
I'm sitting off of school.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll figure something out for myself.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
Pictionary you didn't know
Drew
you
knows.
needed today.
Like if it's between me and you, and then like saving for ourselves and then saving for the kiddos. Not to say that we're not important, but I don't know. Like it's my responsibility as a parent, and so, I mean, Tiger would be like, I want to go to what's that school that Arctic. Not Arctic,
Not
Arstic school.
Stanford.
It's here in Atlanta. It starts with an S.
SCAD?
SCAD, yeah, isn't it an art school? Yeah. If Tiger was like, I'm gonna go to art school, I'm gonna go SCAD, it costs us money. Okay, I'll give you extra. You have a nice
we'll
place
live
to live.
under a bridge. You go college.
Perfect. That sounds wonderful.
Lies.
You know that's not a lie.
All right, next question.
Jeena, would you rather stay at home or pay for a nanny? Or have you stay at home or pay for a nanny?
Okay, I'm ready.
I'm not.
You don't have to draw.
I do have to draw. Here, I'll write it out just in case. Ready?
3, 2, 1.
Stay home.
Is that you in a dress?
Yeah, apron. It's supposed to be stay home dad, SHD, stay at home dad. I'd rather stay home or have Jeena stay home than have a nanny.
I'd rather you stay at home.
Done.
Drew, would Jeena rather have the kids go to a private school or homeschool? Financial.
That one's hard because I don't think finances are what's gonna go through Gina's head, but I'm ready. 3, 2, 1. Homeschool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went to private school and like you didn't
wasn't
absolutely
horrible.
love your experience, but you didn't hate it either.
I didn't hate it. I don't think I think too much because it's not really about whether or not if it's private that makes it great. It's truly about like the teachers and how involved they are. And so homeschool, you can really, there's a lot of ways. I know a lot of people are thinking about like, if I homeschool, like there's so many ways to make it where it's just as great as like a public school education, and you may spend just as much. Like people don't know there's so many avenues. Homeschool co-op, you can hire someone to be your kid's teacher. There's so many things that you can do.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, like homeschool is not as like, I feel like low tier as they used to think about it.
Yeah.
Jeena, would Drue rather save money by working out conflicts independently or spend on therapy or professional counseling?
Sounds like a win-win there.
Oh man.
Ready. Independent.
Work it out ourselves.
Yeah. You don't have to
Horrible.
see a counselor.
Go to therapy.
And you save money. What's
Therapy
not
is-
to want on that?
Therapy
Come on.
has helped us a bunch. I don't understand how you can still think that way.
You know.
Everything is not, shouldn't be more
No,
than
I
money.
don't think therapy is bad, but if you're just asking like what is just preferences, I'd rather just save money.
Okay, but still, there are a lot of, like, that's why we spend money on therapy, is because we recognize that there are things that we just don't understand or we can't see. And that if we have an extra person there, you're just nodding, you don't
My
care.
therapist told me to agree with you.
Let's go.
Drue, would Jeena rather spend money on matching outfits or video games?
Oh,
This is so easy. I don't know why.
matching for
Yeah.
sure. I was about to try to draw some matching outfits, and I thought
glad you did.
y'all would be here forever.
Jeena, would Drue rather have big birthday parties for the kids or give them big presents?
This one is really hard.
I'll have to think about this one, I think. Oh, I already know.
Just turn it around, baby.
Hold on. Let me at least put a person in here.
My goodness.
Yeah, hold on. Wait, let me do a little fire on the back. Okay.
Baby.
All right.
What is that?
It's a car. The present. I'd rather do a big present than a big
Really?
birthday. Yeah. Yeah, I bought him a car. Look, I bought my kids a car.
But all of a sudden, me wanting to spend all this money on college, you don't want to do that.
You're giving me, you're giving me if or ands. Like, if I'm spending $1,000 no matter what, am I putting it towards a birthday party or birthday gift? I'm going to put it towards a gift.
Oh my goodness.
Specifically this.
Okay.
Drue, would Jeena rather buy knockoffs or brand names?
Oh, that's a good one. I think I know it, but I don't think she recognizes it.
Okay, ready?
3, 2, 1. Brand names.
Knockoffs all day,
Brand
baby.
names.
What?
You just said you love Old Navy and you're wearing all Old Navy.
This is how you know.
You're literally wearing all Old Navy.
This is to show you, ladies,
I
that my
wore
husband really doesn't know
Old
what
Navy.
knockoffs. Drew, Old Navy.
Hold on. We may have to go off camera for this. Are you really wearing Old Navy?
Yes,
Or is it
I'm wearing Old
knockoff?
Navy.
Is it knockoff Old Navy?
Baby, I don't think you understood the question, which I think I'm right? Old Navy
No,
is
she's
not brand
Old
name.
Navy is a brand
It's a
name.
brand name.
Oh!
Knockoff would be like Walmart type of, like clothes just like your
Oh,
Walmart.
wait. Watch this, guys. Oh.
Whatever. Okay, you guys tell me. Y'all, listen. Because honestly,
You cornered yourself on that one. I was waiting for it. I was ready. Waiting.
whatever. Okay, next.
Jeena, would Drue
You're wrong.
would Drue rather be in a safer neighborhood or have a bigger house?
Actually, I think I know the answer.
You know what's so hard about this is the fact that I realize we so often think very similar. So then I'm like, oh, I would choose this. And I'm like, I had to actually think, oh man, just because I would choose this, we don't always choose the same thing.
I've
Okay,
got
ready?
mine. Yep. Safety.
Really? That's a
Safety
liar.
first.
He's a liar.
Safety first.
Yeah. You're the guy who goes skydiving or like, oh, like let's go on the edge of like this thing and let's
Yeah,
look
I don't
around.
go hang out in the dark alleys in New York for the fun of it.
There's dark alleys in Atlanta too, Drew.
And I don't go in them. Safety first. Because your big house, you're going to get robbed. People are going to break in.
True. Would Jeena rather buy toys / anything the kids want or invest in their long-term needs like college, weddings?
This one's easy. I'm ready when you are.
Yeah, I'm ready. Invest, baby. I'm not gonna lie, there's a lot of reasons. Not only am I investing in my kids' future and making sure that they're good, but also I'm tired of having a bunch of toys in my house. My playroom, I am cleaning up time and time again. I'm tired of this.
Oh, it was so...
And I can't stand that. No, I cannot stand cleaning up our playroom.
Panda's lucky he's so cute still because I just let him do whatever he
talking about
wants.
Penguin?
Yeah, Penguin. Sorry, Penguin is lucky
Panda's
he's
so
so cute. We have big buckets of Legos, and
He
one
just
day...
dumps it.
No, he didn't dump it. He'd pick up 3 or 4 and throw them at the dollhouse, and he just thought it was the funnest thing. He did it for like 20 minutes straight. Just pick them up and throw them, and it was so cute. But then we had Legos everywhere that we had to clean up.
Okay.
Jeena, would you rather fund for extracurricular activities or save for a down payment on a house?
You can't rush me.
You're writing a whole paragraph over there.
You ready?
Yeah. House. Yep.
Drew, would Jeena rather have a family pet or a family vacation?
This
You're
one
so
is super hard. Who came up with these questions? Because I like them. Who came up with collective effort here? Yeah, this one just may take me a minute.
Don't you
To draw.
dare.
Vacation.
Honestly, every single time I get close to thinking, I'm like, yeah, let's go get a pet. I just heard someone's like, if you have pets in your house smells. And I was like, I don't want that.
That's not true. You can have pets without your house smelling. Do people have pets and their house smells? Yes. You can legit have a pet without your house smelling.
Jeena, would Drew rather invest in hobbies for the kids or invest in their long-term needs?
This is hard. I'm thinking like Drew.
Think like me.
Okay, I'm ready.
But hobbies. I'm more of a now thinker. Like, I think more in the now.
And I think more of a future. This is why we make a good team. Because I just feel
Go
like,
team.
not that I don't think it's important, but I do forget about like worrying about like their current, like I know all their current loves and hobbies and interests, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then I'm the person like, oh, okay, well, I know Tiger's super interested in art.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, let me figure out how much it costs for an art school and start saving for that. And not to say that I wouldn't look at like activities for her to do, but I wouldn't probably put so much thought into it as much.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Do you guys want to know who won?
Who?
Oh, yeah. Who won?
Drew. 1 by 1.
Oh man.
Yeah. Yeah. What do I
whatever.
win? What do I win?
A kiss from your opponent.
You can't offer me. This is not prostitution.
Appreciate that. Well, that was fun.
That was so much fun. I don't know. It does seem like it is so much harder for your nose is brown.
I got a brown nose now. Mm-hmm. Is it gone?
Let me see. Yeah, for the most part. Drew was just complaining. He's like, I thought I had like something on my nose all day.
Yeah, I looked in the mirror and I was like, why is there brown on my nose? I remember Jeena kissed me.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh, is it still on there?
Better?
But yeah. I will say, like, I can understand why people are choosing to not have kids or have, like, not as big as families as we have, or as big as families as we used to have back in the day. And finance, I think, is one of the main reasons. And so, I don't know. It's like this, like,
Or
super
living with parents for a longer amount of times. Like that was super, I don't know if it's taboo or not, but I feel like when we were young, it was like, get out of your parents' house. If someone was above the age of 22 living with their parents, it was like, wow, like you're still with your parents. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but we're also the ones who are moving back with our parents, our generation.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. And now it's like being destigmatized of like, wow, you're only 24. You should be with your parents. Like, don't waste your money on apartments or rent and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So.
And it's just hard for everyone. I mean, I feel like as we're talking about it and we're like giving some advice, I still think that there are some parts that we could always do better at.
Yeah.
There's always ways that we can improve and do more.
I would love to hear how you guys save in your lives, like with everything getting more expensive and inflation. What are things that you feel like are appropriate to save on, and what's creative ways that you save money?
Yeah, because I think we're all struggling. We're all trying to make it, and we're all trying to figure out ways. Because I think, what was it? Living off, if you're a family, just say in Georgia, how much would we be making? Over 200.
It was over 200. It was like 240,000 that you should make annually. And like, we don't make that. And we're a family of 7.
Yeah.
So.
And so like, for anyone who's ever feel like, oh man, like it feels like everyone's got it. Everyone seems like we're doing better off. I'm just telling you that it probably just looks that way. Because like you just heard, Drew, like we don't like.
Or they've been more well established for a longer period of time and stuff like that. Like we know in general, there's not that wealth transfer from boomers down to the next generations right now, like there has been in the past. So, so yeah, you guys stay healthy out there. Do your best to save where you can, and just hang in there. Adulting is hard.
It is. Well, thank you for being with us today.
Yeah. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.